0 is a very powerful exponent. It does all kinds of wonderful things. Does everybody understand where we are in our foldable?
Yes, ma'am.
Are we sure?
No, ma'am.
Okay, what y'all doing? Because we having a lesson. So put those down. Alright, 0 is an exponent. So anything in the whole wide world to the 0 power is always 1. Anything to the 0 power is 1. That's it. That's all you have to do. I know, Tater Tot. I know. So if I write negative 432,673 to the 0 power, the answer is going to be 1. I am. If I write x squared y cubed divided by x y to the 9th to the 0 power, it's going to be 1. I don't have to do anything else. I just write 1.
That's it. All we learned, or we got something else.
No, that's it. Then we're doing fractions as exponents, and that's super easy.
So
Nothing else. That's it.
So if I write that a rainbow is to the 0 power,
A rainbow.
Don't forget blue.
that's 1. Does everybody understand? Anything? Why don't you understand? Okay. Moving on. Any questions?
Moving on.
So if you see 0 as an exponent, what's your answer?
Uno.
1. Questions, comments, grabs, complaints. Ready?
I don't have.
Is it about this? Okay. All right. Fractions as exponents. Do you guys know what a radical is?
What?
A radical.
The only
It is a word that you use.
The only kind of radical I know is the word the Ninja Turtles use when something awesome happens.
That, okay. Well, I'm glad we're on the same page with that, but that's not what I mean. So if I have a to the 1/3 power, okay, that's called a rational exponent. And when you have a rational exponent, do you need me to keep your phone, or shouldn't you have something to write with and be writing this down? Did you? You wrote a to the 1/3? Uh-huh. Now, what you do is, this is a radical.
Oh, yeah, I know what radical is now.
You put the a underneath. The denominator always goes right here, and then your numerator always goes out front. That's it.
That's all we got to put.
That's it.
So I thought it was A to the...
Sweet.
Now I want everybody just to process. So you take the denominator, and it goes right here. You take the numerator, and it goes out front. That's it. That's all you do. Now, this is leading us into our next unit, or our next section in this unit, which we're going to cover next week, and what we do with radicals. But today, all we're doing is just taking a rational exponent and turning it into a radical. That's it.
I'm ready.
So what if I gave you this problem? Excuse me. No. Thank you.
You alright?
I am.
Alright. Just wondering.
Okay. Alright. So now we have c to the 2/3 power. What you're going to do
Make the radical.
Draw the radical.
Put the ceiling.
Wait, tater tot. Wait. Everybody just draw the radical. Now, what goes inside the house?
C.
C. Now, imagine that this is a person with a mullet, and they are wearing a baseball cap.
I don't see that, but okay.
Tres goes in the mullet. And what goes outside?
2.
2, yes. So 3 goes right there. 2 goes out front. Stop. If I say it again, it's -1. B. If I say e to the 5, 6. Can you try this one without me?
Yes.
Try it without me, and then we're going to talk about one more little bitty thing.
Can I tell you what's ready?
In a minute? You can. I appreciate that. All right, Natalie, what goes inside the house?
The mullet or the house? Oh, E.
E goes in the house. What goes in the mullet? What goes out front? Dun da da da. You're done.
Super easy.
Now, if I said J to the 3 halves. So 2 is the only time you do something a little bit different.
What?
When you have a 2, you don't have to write the 2 in the mullet, but you do write the 3 out front, because this is called a square root. Now, if we have a 6, it's called the 6th root. If we have a 3, it's called the cubed root, but you don't have to write the 2. If you want to write the 2 for practice, you can write the 2 for practice. You do not have to write it.
Oh, okay.
Not yet.
You cut it off before you go there on the
Not yet.
What is that? Why don't we write it?
I'm sorry?
Why don't we write it?
Oh, because a square root, so any radical, if I just give you this is understood as the square root of 64. The square root of 64 is 8, because it's 2 numbers that multiply by itself to give you that number. So what we're moving to with this is we're moving to be able to find the cubed root of 64. So you would need 3 of the same number. Or the 4th root of 64, where you need 4 of the same number. But when it's a 2, it's just the square root. So that's a great question. The last thing I want you to remember
What?
is when you plug it into your calculator, for the love of all things good and holy, if it is a negative, put it in parentheses. So let's write remember. Three squared is... Wow, what's 3 squared? Okay, let's try it again. Ready? 3 squared is 9. Awesome. And if I have negative 3 in parentheses, what's negative 3 squared? 9. If it's not in parentheses, it's negative 9.
Oh, so it's parentheses.
Yes. And when you plug it into your calculator, you have to put it in parentheses, or it will make the answer negative. So watch your negatives.
See, no, there. I like this class. Don't you have your mask on?
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah, don't you have a nothing?
That woman.
So now what we're going to do is we are going to create our study guide in our notebook for our test on Friday. So on your table of contents, I want you to write page 10. And I want you to write exponent, properties, study guide. and I want you to put today's date. We are going to create it together. Now, your learning target for this unit says that you must be able to identify and execute the properties of exponents. So, I'm not going to write what you do. I'm going to write section 1, section 2, section 3, section 4, and you're going to have to tell me what you do. Ready?
No.
¿Por qué no? Okay. Are you ready now? Okay, thank you. Are we ready? Okay. Alright, so I'm going to turn to 9C. I'm going to turn my paper over. I'm not going to write on the back because I started writing over here. So 10 is going to be on the right side. We're going to call it 10A. I'm going to zoom out a little bit.
Oh. Yeah. You think I know it's deep?
Batman says stop. Where is she? Right here. Alright, exponents, study guide. Let's do this. So again, I'm going to write section 1, and you're going to have to identify what property that is. Please keep up with me because we got a lot of we have 6 total sections to write down. Can everybody see? Nick, you good? Okay, so far at least. Okay. Now, on the test, you're not going to be able to say, what am I doing here? What am I supposed to do to these exponents? You're not going to be able to do that. It is your test. So, you have to be able to identify what to use when. Does everybody understand? Okay? We're going to have 4 problems in this section. Does anybody think they know what this section is? Can we say it with confidence and not as a question? Multiplying like bases. Take a point. Both teams. This is multiplying like bases. And what do you do to the exponents when you multiply like bases? You add them. Now, does everybody understand what I mean now about identifying what you do? See, no, maybe no. ¿Por qué no? Okay. That is 0.5.
So we don't have to work it out, we just have to identify what it is.
You also have to work it out.
Okay.
Are we ready for the next section?
No.
Alright, section 2. Section 2. Why are you saying it as a question?
Divide.
Divide.
Look at us go.
When you divide, you gotta subtract.
Look at you go.
All right.
You were just guessing after a week of this? I hope we're not guessing after a week of this.
No, I wasn't guessing.
We subtract our exponents, right?
One more in this section. Is everybody done with 3 and 4?
See?
So just like how I wrote what to do in section 1 at the top up there in pink, you need to do the same thing in section 2. I'm not writing it for you. You have 3 problems in section 3.
Power to the Man, good. I'm sorry, man.
But what do you do to the bases?
Multiply
You gotta-
the little exponents.
You do multiply the exponents, but what do you do to the bases? You gotta power the bases.
So it's called power.
Yep.
Okay.
I put.
So like on 8, it would be 13 to the 4th power. So that's 13 times 13 times 13 times 13.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I can do the power multiplier.
We'll write it down. No? Yeah, well, but we have to finish writing first. Mary, are you done with 5 and 6, babe?
Yeah.
Okay. Yo,
On this one right here, we can work the way to the inside out. Inside out.
inside out. I'm going to write section 4 on the back because I'm out of room. So if you have room, we're going to section 4 next. If you don't, then we're going to the back. No worries. No rush. If you want to start working on the front, you can go ahead and start doing that. That might be beneficial. Okay.
Just gotta work
Single
the
on
inside out.
You're hungry?
See,
I'm sorry. Me too.
Me too.
Pardon?
I'm sorry.
Batman? I am Batman. Why do you keep saying that I'm Batman? I know I'm Batman. Mary, are you ready, babe?
Yeah.
Okay. Will, are you ready? Okay.
Go.
You're not eating? Is that what you said?
No.
Why?
Alright, you can put it. No.
Okay. Are you ready? Okay. I'm going to the back for section 4.
I would have done it.
Sweet Jesus in heaven. Did I really have to turn it over for 1 second? The 4? Because you didn't write down your enemy. Section enemy. Are you ready?
Enemy? Really?
What do you think this one's going to be?
No clue.
What was section 1?
Multiply my base and x by
Okay, so and then section 2 was
divide my base.
dividing, and section 3 was
Power to the base is
power to a power. So what do you think section 4 is going to be?
It's gonna be
That,
negative exponent.
Negative exponents. Look at you go looking at your foldable. Take a point.
Hey, when in doubt, look at your notes.
That's crazy. That's a crazy logic. A crazy logic. Just hold on to it for now, Jorge. Thank you.
Banana.
I wasn't talking to you.
Would add the extra.
No, you gotta put
We would put them under.
the negative.
Yeah.
On the bottom.
You are yelling.
Under. I think this is the easiest one.
Bless you. Do we need one more for negative exponents?
No.
Okay. Can I take this mask off now?
No.
take it
No,
off. We get it, you're
It
Batman.
pinches my nose.
It's hard to breathe in the mask.
I should've-
Is it not a V for the function?
I'm sorry?
Is it not gonna
No.
be a V for the function? Because they're teachers.
I should have dressed up as Bane today, because I think about it. Batman
It's
and
not just the
Bane.
Batman. Myself. Basic.
David, I saw somebody dressed up as Bane.
If anyone
Can I start section 5 yet?
If anyone gets Bane.
Very good.
Yeah, this is the next one would be, next one's gonna be Sierra as an X.
Yes.
Sierra as an X. So we can change it straight to 1.
Oh, the one we want to
Yeah. Good for Christmas. You love it. Well, I know the answer. Good, got it?
When I write, you write.
It's only one because you can.
I'm not gonna be, can I just like do it generic instead of like,
It's a happy face.
I ain't worried about it.
What?
Nope.
There's even here, right down, just have-
See?
I mean,
See?
proper manners.
Are we done with 13 and 14?
Yes.
What in the world? Why just tell me like there's a smiley face?
Yes, smiley. Oh, cool. Negative. Living extraction.
Is that used to the zero power?
See? So to get full credit, you have to tell me what's happening in the section and what you do. So like where we wrote multiplying like bases on the left of our foldable, you have to write that and what you do. Does everybody understand? Pardon?
What I just tell you is gonna write.
No, you have to write it to receive full credit. And you have to work your problems out. So I would suggest starting now because tomorrow we're doing a review activity. Not Kahoot because we get too crazy. Y'all start yelling.
Come on.
It's probably because of me, of course.
Y'all and Reggie and Austin would fight about who got the most points, but this year we don't have to worry about that.
How would we describe the